Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Sasheen. Welcome back to another installment of Women in Transition. I am your host, and I'm here to talk to you about why you should think about what you're going to do on your next vacation. So, this channel is devoted to women who are in the prime transition years of their life and the many, many things that come along with those transitions, whether that's transitioning from a job to a new job to retirement to going back to school to starting your own business to getting a divorce to getting married. Wherever the angel devil falls upon your shoulder, that is where I would like to meet you. So hopefully you find something from this channel that allows you to weather that transition more smoothly. I'm Dr. Sasheen, host, author, and all around Gen X woman, just kind of out here in her own transition, hoping to help others along the path. Find books that I have written at findingfreedomover40.com. Link is right here in that little, finger majiggy down there in the corner. Also, subscribe to the channel so you can get more updates of when I'm going to go live or shorts that I like to drop. I'm all about inspiring and helping Gen X women in that late mid to late 40s to early 60s and beyond, find their way in the sea of things that can come along as we're trying to figure out how to weather our transitions. All right, so what are we talking about today? Mojitos, massages, and medical care? Absolutely. So I live in the United States, and our healthcare system is not ranked the best in the world. We do some things extraordinarily well, and then we do some other things not so great. And so, what I want to talk to you today about is something that I think we as Gen X women really are struggling with right now because, on the one hand, technology has made it such that we can go anywhere and we can do so many things. But sometimes our mindset hasn't quite caught up with all of the things that are available to us. And the reason it hasn't quite caught up is because I got the microphone, nice pink fuzzy if you want to see it. The reason it hasn't caught up with us is because we weren't raised to think that you go someplace else to get medical care. This is just something that you get a job, you get insurance if you're lucky, and then you go someplace and you get medical care to your doctor or pediatrician or whomever, whatever the case may be. But it's not very far from home, and it's generally in your community, and you build a relationship with your doctor, and you hope that they're going to be your doctor and they're going to take care of you, and that insurance companies aren't going to screw you over. And that's just kind of how it's done. Well, that's how it's done. Yes, and that is a way that it's done. But globally, medical tourism or global health insurance has changed the nature of the game about what it is we can expect in terms of healthcare if we're willing to think outside of the box. And Gen X women, as I like to say, we've lived through several decades and at least two millennia. We know what it means to think outside of the box. We were the first generation that had the beepers, car phones, to heck with cell phones, Velcro, you name it. Like we were tying things together. We understand the concept of thinking outside the box to solve a problem that perhaps can't be solved in conventional ways. And so I want you to think about the last time you went to the doctor, the last time you needed something done. And we hear a lot of the chatter about wait times in other countries and other countries' healthcare systems aren't as good as the ones in our own country because they have long wait times and they don't have access to specialists, they don't have access to this, they don't have access to that. Well, let me tell you something. That is no longer the case because of the way the world has shifted and changed in even the past 20 years. People are going places to get their healthcare. They're going to other countries. They're taking medical vacation, the name for it is medical tourism. And medical tourism is $1 billion industry. And it's not just breast implants and abs, y'all. It's just about anything that you can think of. There is a market for it in terms of medical tourism. So I did a little digging because one of the things that is really important to me is I have to wear glasses now. And I did not always have to wear glasses. I'm not a fan. And here's what I came to understand in this process of getting my glasses and getting to understand what my glasses are all about and how to wear them. Like I haven't worn glasses since I was a kid, and I mean a kid, maybe 10 or 11. And here I am wearing glasses again for the very first time, and they're not my friend. As I'll just put it that way. They're not my friend. After having had them now for a few months, I can safely say that I will probably not wear glasses by this time next year. Now, what does that mean? That means that on the journey of figuring out what I can do for my vision, which has sadly post my son being born, which was a long time ago, but still, my vision never quite corrected itself from when I was pregnant. And so it's just progressively gotten worse. And now I need glasses. Well, or at least now I need a correction to my vision. And the easy answer was glasses because I needed something. I needed it right away. My vision was getting to the point where I was not going to be able to pass my driver's test if I didn't get my glasses. So boom, here we are. But having worn them, I realized, okay, so get based on what my insurance allowed was what I could buy. Now I could pay out of pocket for other stuff, but glasses are really expensive. Eye exams can be very expensive, and I know everyone's like, "Oh, you can go to America's Contacts and Eyeglasses, and for $49.95, you can do that." Yes, you can, but you're gonna get what you pay for when it comes to healthcare, right? And sometimes we have to bite the bullet and spend a little extra money to figure out the best care for ourselves. So my insurance said you can have these. They're lovely. I love the little purple frames. They have Roman numerals on the sides. I think they're pretty cool. My son loves them. My family thinks they're really cute. My problem is I don't like them. I don't like them. And you can call it cosmetic and it's not a big deal. It's just a look, it's whatever. I don't like wearing glasses. So, in my hunch to figure out what was available in terms of glasses, I heard all of the horror stories from people who done LASIK surgery and the trouble that they've had. And I've heard oh, you don't want to wear contact lenses because you probably would need the hard. I mean, there's just so much. There's so much, so much, so much. And then when you start looking into the cost of everything with insurance, you start to realize, holy heck in a handbasket, right? This is going to be a major financial undertaking. So I'm going to do some digging and I'm going to figure out the best option for me, which may end up being surgery. They do make a multifocal contact lens now, which I think is fantastic. I don't like these because my depth perception is gone. And after having depth perception, to not have it all of a sudden is just, I can't live like that. It's too weird for me. So anyway, all that to say, one of the things that I am open to is the possibility that the solution that I seek for my eyes may not exist where I am. And because that's true, I am open to the possibility that I might have to go someplace else to get my little peepers back to a place where I'm comfortable with them. Now, if the possibility for you of going someplace else to get your medical attention makes you just breathe, exhale, just breathe it out. Number one, this may just not be the live stream for you, and that's all right. It's okay. But number two, if your hesitation is, oh, but what if other countries just aren't as good as the country that I live in? Or I mean, I'm in the United States. I'm going to use this as the example. But what if I go there and I have something done and something goes wrong and then I come back because the horror stories? Well, there are horror stories where you live, and there are horror stories where you don't live. And medical tourism has come a long way. And so I actually know people, not just anecdotally, but actually people on the ground who've gone to other countries for several different types of medical procedures. So I want to talk to you today about what are the main medical procedures that are available out there, what countries have the best, at least for the moment, the best medical tourism or have the highest rate of medical tourism and have some of the best healthcare out there, and why you should think about going to another country, especially because as women of a certain age, our bodies are doing wildly interesting things, right? And they do this interesting thing for almost a decade before they settle out again. And it used to be we just had to live with it. I was watching a show just the other night about, and the show wasn't about women going through menopause, but the show happened to have one of the character arcs is that there is a woman going through menopause and she's literally going crazy half the time. And so in the story, because it's a period story, in that it's set during a period of time that has passed, the solutions for this woman going through menopause, which have put her on very heavy duty medication so that she found some stability in her days and didn't feel so angsty and angry all the time. But the side effect of the medication was that she didn't feel anything. So she wasn't anxious or angry anymore, but she didn't feel anything. And she was struggling with trying to understand how going from feeling a little anxious and angry because her body and her hormones are going, kind of in two different directions it is worse than feeling nothing. She was losing the connection with her family because she felt very disconnected, disassociated from the world because of the medication that she was on. And as I was watching that, I thought to myself, you know, I remember when HRT, I mean, I'm just now getting to this place where these are conversations that I want to have with my doctor. But I remember when HRT was like this whispered word when my mom was, going through it, and oh, you should or you shouldn't, or you should go on this drug or you shouldn't do this thing because all of these things, right? There are all of these there's so many things that we as women have to go through, medically speaking. And sometimes the answers are worse than the questions that we're asking. And so I want you to think about, what are you going through? Like, what are the symptoms of things? What are the things that medically speaking that you're going through where it feels like the answer is worse than the question? Like the question was bad, but the answer is way worse. And so you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And maybe I'm just going to do nothing, because doing nothing, that's not the answer. Doing nothing is not the answer. And so I want to encourage you to think about this. A lot of people in this country find that healthcare is very expensive. And so getting things done for ourselves that may not be essential care can come with a price tag that is very large. But those things that may not be deemed essential care are essential to our quality of life. And it is our quality of life that should determine how we move forward, not just if insurance will cover it. Because let me tell you something, in doing some digging, the cost of things in other countries in their system that you can pay cash for is thousands of dollars less expensive in just as good of facilities, if not better. And it's you just pay it out of pocket, get your tests run, and you're done. Now, you need to do your due diligence. I'm not going to tell you to take my word for it. Don't get on YouTube and take anybody else's word for it. Do your due diligence. Figure out the best places for you. Figure out what places offer what you're looking for. But be open to the possibility that the things that you need to feel good about your life, the things that you need that are going to make you feel amazing and give you a longer, stronger, happier quality of life, being active, happy, and healthy, may come on the shores of another country. So, what are the 5 procedures or the 5 areas I think that we Gen X women would most likely think about going overseas or to another country? It might be attached to the country that you live in, to get something done. So, number 1, cosmetic surgery. Y'all can poo poo and laugh at it all you want to. I'm not talking about getting your boobs done unless that's what you want to get done. Say you're on a GLP-1. You've lost a significant amount of weight and you want to get rid of the excess skin. That's cosmetic surgery. Say that you lost a lot of weight in your belly and you had gastric bypass and you got it that you want to put your belly button back where it belongs. You got some things going on in here. That's cosmetic surgery. Say that you want to get Botox because you've had migraines and it just so happens that one of those side effects of that is the tightening of the skin, if that's what you're into. That's cosmetic surgery. Cosmetic surgery can be a lot of different things. It covers the bucket of a lot of different things. But it is, in fact, the number one reason that people travel for medical tourism is for cosmetic surgery. And again, that's to be expected because what we present on the outside is so very important. And as we age, that presentation becomes even more important so that we don't feel like we're getting lost, looked over, and becoming invisible. And so you may not want breast implants, but you might want hair implants. You may not care about liposuction, but you may want to get rid of the double chin or the turkey neck if that's what you've got. There are so many things that fall in the bucket of cosmetic surgery. And I am of the mindset that if it makes you feel better, it's not hurting anyone else, it's your money. Spend it how you see fit. And if that is a trip to the Mexican Riviera where you can sip a mojito, have a little cosmetic surgery done, and then recuperate in the lap of luxury, or even the lap of semi a semi-luxury for a week or two, you got the vacation time, might as well use it, right? And I think when we start thinking about this in terms of it's not doing something extra, it's taking care of the only thing that we have. Like this we have yet to figure out how to clone our bodies and remove all the stuff that we don't want. We're not there yet. And since we're not there yet, this is it. This is the one you have to work with. This is this vessel within which we have to work. So, number one reason people travel for medical tourism is cosmetic surgery. That one probably doesn't surprise you. The second one is dentistry. Now, I know someone, actually, I know two people who personally have traveled to get dental work done in other countries, and they have had fantastic experiences. They have gone to the country in question. They work with the licensed dentist in a dental suite, a dental office. They stay in a hotel. Sometimes they've even had their post-operative care in the hotel room. Like, what? On, y'all? Whew, okay, anyway, but dentistry is a huge, huge part of the global medical tourism industry because, and I don't understand why this is the case. Dentistry is so stinking expensive and it is not covered by by health insurance. I don't know why we call it health insurance because it doesn't cover your entire the health part seems to be missing from health insurance. It doesn't cover dental, it doesn't cover vision. You have to buy separate riders for the policy that you purchase for your health insurance. It's like a car, right? Your body is the car, but it doesn't but the warranty doesn't cover the engine, or it doesn't cover the headlights or the brake lights. You got to get separate policies to cover the headlights and the brake lights. It just covers the engine and the powertrain, the powertrain, but nothing else. Just a minute. So, health insurance works like that, at least in the United States. It only covers this. It don't cover these, which are part of my face, but is not covered under my insurance. And it doesn't cover these, which are in my mouth, but are not covered by insurance. So the second largest area of medical tourism is dentistry. And I'm not surprised because I have a son who's going to need dental work. And I'm dreading the cost of what it's going to take. And we have really good dental insurance. And I am still shuddering at the cost of what it may take to pay for the dental work that he's going to need to have done as he's getting older. We're about to go into orthodontics. Y'all listen. Whew, okay. All right. So dentistry, if you've been living with something wrong with your teeth and you're going to Tulum, go to the dentist. You can make your appointments from your home country. There are literally ways. This system is so sophisticated now in ways that it never was before. Ever, ever, ever. You make your appointments from your home country. You get all your visa paperwork straightened out. There are people that will help you get this done who work in doctors and dentists' offices. It is amazing that in 2024, we are still laboring under the very false impression, the very nationalistic impression in some ways, that the only and best thing that we can do for ourselves is only right where we are, that there's nothing outside of it that's as good. So we just have to accept what's in front of us. That is not the case. So dentistry is the second most popular area of medical tourism. And I can definitely see why. My son has had dental issues since the day he was born. He actually cut his first tooth at 6 weeks. Oh, those were some rough times. And the doctor was very surprised because babies are not supposed to cut teeth that early. Ooh, no, they're not. But she said sometimes babies are born with teeth and they usually pull them if they are born with teeth, because his came in 6 weeks later. They didn't pull them. He just was allowed to keep them. But they're called milk teeth and they can cause a lot of problems. And we've had problems over the years. And over the years, the amount that I have spent on those problems, happily spent, because that's what I'm going to do for my kid, is a lot. And so as I've watched other people that I actually know, go to other countries and get dental work, and we've talked about the trade-offs, we've talked about the price, we've talked about the kind of work, the amount of work, the aftercare, and all the things. I'm sold, y'all. I'm sold. And so I think if you have, as we grow older, our teeth are so much more important. Like the ability to feed and swallow and chew, kind of central to being able to take care of ourselves and our bodies. Having good dental work in these really transition years is important. The third bucket of medical tourism that's very popular in the world is cardiology. Who knew? Okay, so I'm doing this research for you so I can come out on here with some good information. Come to find out, people are going all over the place for cardiology, for heart issues, for second opinions, for scans. They're going to other countries because other countries are willing and able to do what your country may not be willing and able to do, whether that's because of regulations, whether that's because it's cost prohibitive, whether that's because it's cutting edge and therefore not acceptable yet where you live. Doesn't mean it's not coming, just mean it's not there yet. And so therefore it's simply not offered to you. Whatever the case may be, some other countries seem to have a leg up when it comes to cardiac care. So visiting cardiologists, going to see a cardiologist in another country, if you happen to be on vacation in one of the countries that has really good health care, and you make an appointment and willing to pay out of pocket to get a state-of-the-art scan of your heart and the inner workings and to see what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, is it not worth the money to keep the ticker ticking? To keep this thing ticking away in optimal health? Sorry, it's getting dark, but it's been an overcast and hot day here. But cardiology, I was very surprised. But I think it's important to recognize that in terms of our health as we age and the things that we can do now, we can get implants, we can get new hearts. We can just replace the darn things, right? There's so many things that we can do, but there are still limits. And sometimes the limitations of what can be done for you are not limitations of the science, but they're limitations of the source, the place that you live, the home that you are standing in. And so please, just at the next time you go to the doctor and they say, well, you can't get that, I want your ears to perk up a little bit and go, I can't get it or I can't get it here. And if the answer is, well, you can't get that here, then ask yourself, if I can't get it here, but they can get it everywhere else, why can't I get it here? If other developed nations that have very good healthcare systems can do certain things, why can't we? Why not? Just asking for the peanut gallery. Okay, so cardiology is the third biggest area for medical tourism, the heart. I'm not surprised. It's such an important organ, heart, brain. Like if one of these two goes, we're got problems. And it's got so much research behind it that I'm not shocked that there are countries out there that are doing a lot of cutting edge research and so are able to produce and allow for more advancements in the area of cardiology. That's all. Okay, number 4, orthopedics. I was also quite surprised about orthopedics. How I wish it was orthodontics. I digress. But orthopedics. So again, so very, very, very important to our health, right? Our ability to be mobile. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. My battery wants to die. It happened to me last time too. This one is my fault though, because I actually am going to finish up, but I'll keep my eye on this. Okay, so anyway, orthopedics is number 4 on that list, and number 5 on that list, I was actually trying to keep it at 30 minutes. Number 5 is organ and tissue transplant. Organ and tissue transplant. Now, before you start saying, of course, organ and tissue transplant, back alley transplant, black market, blah, 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 bite your tongue. I'm talking about countries with state-of-the-art healthcare system who are not dealing in black market organs. And if you think that that's not happening when you are up for a transplant, you've lost your mind. What I'm talking about are countries where you need a transplant and there is a team that can do it. And the money that you're going to spend here to get it done or wherever you live may in fact get you over there to get it done faster and just as effectively. So before I lose my battery, because I don't want to lose my battery, I want to just leave you with the top 4 nations that have the highest medical tourism, that are seeing an influx of medical tourists. Number 1, vying for attention of the best systems that also get the most medical tourists, Japan. Are we shocked? No, because Japan seems to be living in 2050, or 2150, while the rest of us are in 1950. So we're not shocked by this. France also has a phenomenal healthcare system that takes in medical tourists all the time. Um, Sweden, again, are we shocked? Not at all. Colombia and Canada. Canada. Now, depending on what you want to have done, this is not an exhaustive list. I could have given you the top 10, but again, I'm about to run out of battery, so I'm gonna keep it short. But in the countries that are taking that are out there in the world that are at the top of the game when it comes to medical tourism, Singapore actually has some of the highest medical tourism, and it's actually second on the list in terms of Asian countries. Singapore comes. Oh no, Japan's second. Singapore is first. Japan is second in terms of Asian countries with the highest rates of medical tourism and excellent medical care. France is rated in Europe. Colombia is highest rated in South America, Mexico, and Central America. In North America, Canada. So depending on where you are, will determine the kind of healthcare that you can get and the kind of healthcare systems that are around you that might be, say, a day's drive or a quick flight away. But I want to close with this, okay? Of those 5 areas, cosmetic surgery, dentistry, cardiology, orthopedics, organ and tissue transplanting. There are some others, but those are the big ones. Of those areas, those are the areas, ladies, us, they're talking to us. They're saying your health at whatever age you are, our age, at whatever age you are, and whatever thing may be going on, there is a solution for it that just may not be a solution, not because of the science, because the science may be there, but the source may not be available to you based on where you live. And I don't know about you, but I have come to believe in my ripe, beautiful age that I am now, that if I want it badly enough, then I'm going to have to figure out a way to get it, because my health is the number one most important thing that I have to hang on to as I'm aging. And in this day and age, 2024, the science of healthcare is getting light years ahead of the sources of healthcare. In other words, science is going to keep moving on, making healthcare more and more accessible and more useful for helping us have longer and better lives. The source country's job to make sure that science trickles down to the average person who needs it, that is the job that they need to be doing. And many countries are failing to do that job. So I want to ask you, if your insurance doesn't cover it, are you willing to grab a mojito, a massage, and perhaps some medical care? Thanks for tuning in. Please go over to findingfreedomover40.com. Check out my book, Starting Over. If you are a woman in transition and you're not quite sure what to do, that is an excellent book, and I highly recommend it. Of course, I recommend it. I wrote it. But it's backed not just by my musings about life, but also by some research and some science, because I'm really big into those things. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back to see you all again live. And please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share. Take care. Bye now.